My style is impetuous, my defense is impregnable, and I'm just ferocious. I want your heart, I want to eat his children.
But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done.
Hi and welcome to Beyond the Ropes. This is Michael here, and unbelievably, we've got a full team.
Yep.
I've got Dwight in the studio, we've got Sean in the studio, and we've got David in the studio. It's been a while, boys.
Yeah.
It has, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I'm trying to think when the last time we were all here.
Months.
It's
Yeah.
definitely been months.
Yeah.
It's got to be.
Has to be.
Well, we're here today. We've got a decent show. We've got some questions in from our the open platform of Twitter, Facebook, etc. We have a little phone interview we're going to be doing during our recording, and let's not set too much of an agenda today. Let's just see where we end up.
Waffle babble.
I mean, we always set an agenda and then we see where we end up anyway. So let's just cut out the middleman, so to speak, today and just get straight to it.
Sweet.
Okay, so we've got a question from our friends over at New Age Boxing, and it's: where do you feel that Matchroom will be in 12 months' time in America? Will they still exist, and at what sort of level? Will it be like pay-per-view, terrestrial TV? It's a great question, to be fair. Obviously, we saw the debut show at the weekend, so I suppose the question I would interpret that of it as, you know, is it going to go up or is it going to go down from that point?
I hope they don't exist in a year's time.
The American or...
Oh yeah, Matchroom in general.
Matchroom. Yeah, Matchroom.
I'd be quite happy
No
if
Americans.
they didn't. No, I don't think it's going to work out. I just think that if they make a success of it, I think American promoters will just do whatever they're doing that's successful. I think they're going to run out of fighters in terms of American fighters who they can tempt over to Britain with big money fights in Britain. I think there's Miller they're trying to build up. They even tried to build up Wack. The fact he sparred with Joshua, so that when Miller beats him, it appears better than it was. They've got Wilder, they've got Jacobs, but I can't really see who else they can get involved in their shows that potentially they could lure to them with the prospect or the carrot of going to Britain and earning big money. They've either got it just seems like they're going over and trying to do what PBC did originally, where there's quite a lot of hype about the money involved in PBC, and now they're banking on the fact that fighters will come to them hoping to get the money.
Yeah.
I hope it doesn't work. I hope that Wilder sticks to his guns really and doesn't give in. I don't really care about Jacobs. I don't really think Jacobs is that good, to be honest with you. I think he's sort of top 5, but he's not going to fight Golovkin or Canelo soon. I don't think Frank
be tied up for a while now.
I don't think Frank Warren will give him the Billy Joe Saunders fight that easily. So I don't really know what Eddie Hearn does with Jacobs. He'll probably, like his IFL interview said, it doesn't really matter who he fights as long as he's making them. As long as Matchroom get a good reputation for paying good money, it doesn't really matter about the fights, and therefore it doesn't really matter about the fans. So I just hope they don't exist. I hope that it goes. I hope it flops really.
Committed to 14 shows as well. Was it commitment, or he said he wanted to do 14
I think
shows?
he said he wanted to. I think he's got
4 or 5 pending
Yeah.
already. Pending? What a terrible term. Penciled in.
I don't really care about it. I don't really care about Danny Jacobs.
I like Danny Jacobs, but I said when they kind of first announced it, kind of, to give it a football kind of analogy, it reminds me of when Arsenal signed Arteta, and it's like you've got a player who's a decent player, but he's always been there and you've never looked at him.
Yeah.
So why all of a sudden are you interested in him
his
now?
Twilight.
Why has it got to be Arsenal? What about when United signed Fellaini?
Fellaini man in his Twilight, he's always shit.
And there was a rationale behind that, because he went with his manager.
But he was there all summer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right then.
Right.
Nah,
What about that time Liverpool?
Let's,
They didn't, did they?
we haven't got enough time on this pod to
Yari
even start
Littmanen.
talking about Liverpool.
Littmanen, that's the
Littmanen
name.
must have been a bad shout.
Yari Littmanen.
Yeah.
40
What?
years old.
What
Yeah, he
a
was
baller.
there for 20 years and
Yeah.
they never signed him.
What a baller though.
Fuck that. I disagree.
Yeah, so do I. I think
To Sean anyway, not about Littmanen. I think
Yeah,
Littmanen is shit.
yeah.
But
I think
for Matchroom.
it might work out right for them. They can showcase a few British fighters out there, put them on their card, like build them up a little bit. I mean, I know, no, everyone in here is not really a big Conor Benn fan, but that done good for his career. I think it's a good little performance for him. But I honestly think that it will work out for them. It depends. It depends if they can lure the big fighters to them. But
yeah, I think. But even there's the guys that haven't quite. You know, we might know them because we've seen them. You know, their careers. I suppose. Can't think of the fucking word now.
I was going to say Wordsworth over here.
Wow. Yeah. Oh fucking hell! What's the word?
anyway,
Struggling.
Do you want to phone
Oh mate. I'm thinking of every other word except for the word I want.
Right, so just process of elimination then.
Right, it's not transpond anyway. Or
Transpond.
transcend. Oh,
What is that a word?
progress. There we go.
developing.
We've
Wow,
seen
it was
people
such a basic word.
develop, right? Which they
Transcend.
haven't. I
Done
know.
all right.
Just give me 5.
All right. Anyway, so Sean.
No bollocks. I'm back in. Anyway, yeah, you see these guys who've, their careers have progressed.
He's hitting that nail on the head again. Do you remember?
Smashing them all back first. We've seen them progress.
All
Right?
right, here we go.
They haven't quite, gone to that global status. And Eddie Hearn, I think he's a bit of a poacher. He'll find a way of getting in. Whether he's done that like we found out, well, not how we found out, but how we got brought into the notion of he's got the GB teams all on lockdown. All he needs is an in America. And I think once he has that in, whether that's Jacobs or Miller, once he has that in, I think he's that sort of guy that, we've all said it before, he sells you that dream.
Yeah.
For the Americans, I think they bang into that sort of shit.
But the problem in America is Al Heyman, and Eddie Hearn's already shown he doesn't really like dealing with fighters who've already got a connection with, because he likes being in control.
Yeah,
And I don't think he's ever going to be in control with any.
but
big
that's what I'm
names.
saying. Like, you know how British fighters or European fighters they sort of skip from one promoter to the next. It's not like they might be penned in for 10 appearances with this promoter, but after 3 he gets jogged on. In America, they're more to the TV deal.
Yeah.
He's already got his TV deal sorted. We know that. Sky's got this side of it. For me, I don't think it's half as hard as everyone makes it, or it could be made out to be. Simply because he's got the platform over here, and boxing fans over here know a hell of a lot of the names that aren't getting monthly shows or 3 or 4 fights a year. And there's a massive pool of fighters in America that you'd love to come and see, or even get them shown more over here, especially on Sky. Bear in mind, all of our sort of like late night TV boxing is on Box Nation. And if you haven't got that subscription, you're missing out. And that's right. You love Box Nation for that, because they're not just willing to show their own fighters; they're happy to show the big fights. But that's just going to make more money for Sky. And as much as we don't like it, and the fact that we have talked about pay-per-views and stuff, I don't think it's going to be too long before we do see an American pay-per-view.
I don't think it'll reach that.
I don't think
I don't think it'll reach that at all.
I think 12 months' time, I think it will still exist. I think they'll probably be fairly successful. And I think it's going to be a short-lived success, simply because Eddie's going to cash in. As he said in his IFL interview, for example, Errol Spence fought in May this year, won a world title with a fantastic display, and he's not looking at getting back into the ring until January, February, March next year. That's too long.
Yeah.
He wants Danny Jacobs boxing. He wants him boxing again like 2 or 3 months from now. So he's going to have these guys out every 2-3 months. The Americans aren't used to that, so they're going to see these people coming in. They're going to build up profiles very quickly, because they're going to have these fights where they've been sold the Matchroom dream. Not a bad thing, because they're going to get paid. They're going to do well. But again, I think you reach that saturation point where you don't want to see people fighting every 3 months. I mean, we're fans of them, but I don't think you necessarily need it that much.
But do you think you can keep the UK and America thing going at the same time? Because To have it on, to have the American shows on Sky means you're going to have some of your British-based fighters on the
Out
cards
there,
as
yeah.
well. I don't think he's got enough good fighters to fulfil the obligations he's got over here at the moment, because he's got the pay-per-view ones, and then he's got the next-gen ones, and there's the shit ones in between. Who's going to go on the American shows?
It's gotta be all prospects though, isn't it?
You look at the next gen boys.
Yeah,
We're talking
that's what
about
I'm
we're
saying,
getting bored of
prospects.
watching them all
Yeah.
fight people.
It's because
bums.
he said it himself. They fight 7-8 times a year, and they're just bowling people over. It's.
Yeah.
I know they need to build up their experience,
It's a waste
but they
of
don't
time,
need to be
a little
doing that
bit,
on these
yeah.
high-profile shows.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind them beating people
No, but if you're
easily,
talking
but I don't want to have to sit there and watch it when I feel like there could
Yeah, but
be a better show on another channel.
would you
with
not
better
rather?
fights.
Would you not rather have 3 or 4 decent fights like you're saying, and then throw a next gen fella in, or 1 or 2 of them in, instead of
Yeah.
having a whole show of them? where
But do
you're
you think that's
watching
going to attract a UK audience, a next gen guy?
Well, yeah, because they're selling them left, right, and centre already.
But it was Conor Benn because he's Nigel Benn's son.
Yeah, but
Mm.
I'm talking about
But it wasn't
you've
Josh
got
Kelly.
the name of Akoli, or what's the other fella? Batswai. They're not. It's not a massive following at the moment, but they're slowly building up. So you put them on an undercard if he does the American shows. The Americans are going to see him. English guys already know about him. It's only for me. It's only going to
It depends if it
break
depends
it up a little.
if it's well matched, then yeah.
But it's not going to be.
That's
Because he's got to build up these guys' names in America. He's not going to put them in 50-50 straight away.
Yeah.
Good.
I
Because I don't think it's a sell over there. I think they'll see through that more than over here. It's just like, oh yeah, he's got
Especially
another
when
win. But
Especially when you've got the promoters already over there. They're very sceptical about Eddie Hearn, like
Yeah.
Bella,
Yeah,
Richard
they're
Schaefer.
kind of
De La
beefing already,
Hoya.
aren't they? I think what's going to come down to as well, sorry to interrupt, is that I can't see. You see how we go to a show, an O2 show or something like that, and you go in, you get there at 6 o'clock, you take your seat, first fight, and then the last fight's at say half 10, coming up to 11 o'clock. I can't see that format crossing over very well to the States. They have these condensed shows where it's like it's like you said, it's to the TV deal, so they know they've got to be on between 9 and 10, and we've seen it coming into our side of it with the Joshua fights, where they say right, the ring walk is at 10:30 or 10:31 or whatever, because they know the show in America will start bang on this time,
yeah,
and then 1 minute later they have the ring walk where the guys have to be in the ring,
yeah.
and they're not going to, unless they really embrace that. I can't see it working very well, and then to do that you can't have lots and lots of fights, so we can't throw all these next gen guys out there. But like I said, personally I think it's going to be successful in the short term, but I think they'll probably saturate themselves quite quickly in being, like Sean said, there's not enough fighters, so the fighters that they're going to be pushing out on all of these shows, because he wants to do 14 shows in the year.
It's a lot.
How many times can I see Lawrence Okoli? And he's going to have to sign American fighters of a similar sort of caliber, because he's not going to be able to sign the top boys because they're already done. They've already got their deals.
I can't be watching Miller 2-3 times a year.
I don't think Miller could fight 2-3 times a year. We got mugged off. No, we all kind of sitting there thinking, do you know what? Jerome Miller's actually he's not that bad. And then you watch it and you're like, actually, he's not great. He's not great. It's a shame when you see someone coming into the ring 17, 18, 19 stone, and the only thing they're worried about is when they can have their next cheeseburger. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, I don't think you've been depriving yourself.
You had one about 3 hours ago.
I know, while they were wrapping your hands, someone feeding you one as well. So, yeah, I can't see it being a long-term plan. And to be honest, I wouldn't hate it. We moan about Matchroom, but they give us plenty of boxing. Whether it's good or bad, we get cards to watch. They usually got fairly decent fights in there somewhere. You might have to watch 7 or 8 fights to get one good one.
That's the unfortunate thing, though. I mean, I understand about giving boxers opportunities and that, and because if you don't give someone an opportunity, you don't know. You might pick a gem out, but at the same time, as fans, you don't want to be sitting through a lot of garbage sometimes. It kills it.
So we've got another question in from North Bank Bren, and it is, what is the current state of the heavyweight division now? Now, we all know exactly how the kind of top people in this division are now. They are head and shoulders above everyone else, and I loosely include Parker in that. I don't feel he is, but he is a title holder right now, so he is therefore he's above pretty much everybody else in that respect. So I mean, because no doubt we'll cover them as we start talking more later in the show anyway. But I mean, below those top three, how great is the heavyweight division right now?
Average at best.
I think there's a big gap between.
Yeah.
It's a bit like Matchroom Stable again. Not when he's going. It's kind of, you've got your really good ones.
Get
You're
out
really
of their arse.
out of their ass. Well,
Just stop trampling in it. They're great.
you've kind of got a load of good ones, or a few good ones at the top. You've got a few coming up, and in between is kind of the same names that have been there for a while, and they're never going to win a title. They're never going to slip out of the top sort of 10.
Mm.
But Pulev's the one that I don't really know where he slots back into it now.
It's almost like he's got to go and do all the hard work again to get back to where he was.
Yeah,
Probably does.
yeah. I can't see that he's gonna. He won't want to risk waiting. Well, he's probably gonna want to wait around for his mandatory shot to come whenever it comes. But
He still
that
needs
could
to
be
be
ages.
Yeah, he still needs to be active, though, don't he? He can't
And do
just
you want to
like-
risk? Who do you fight to?
Risk
Yeah.
losing and
But
dropping
if he's
down.
if you're gonna lose at that stage, you're
Yeah.
not worth the title shot, are you?
I mean, I'd back him
Well.
against Parker.
Yeah.
So
I'll back most of them against
Listen,
Parker.
Parker's on, in my opinion, Parker's on like a countdown now.
Yeah, he's there to be taken
How long
out.
can he stretch this out for until he gets his big payday?
If I was Parker, though, I'd be waiting to see what happens with the David Haye thing, because that's another option to throw in against the Anthony Joshua negotiations.
Of course. Yeah.
You're going to want David Haye to beat Bellew and then play them off against each other.
I think you're right.
But British level, I think is good. I'm excited.
Who's the bigger draw then? If Haye beats Bellew and Parker's there thinking, I've got Joshua here, I've got Haye here. He's gonna make me so much money. He's gonna make me.
I think he might be
higher
running
or
at Joshua
lower.
at the moment.
You reckon?
Yeah.
I think you might
Who's
get
he
a
got
better
more
split.
chance of beating? A Haye
Neither.
that a Haye
Of course.
a Haye that
Of course, you would. The better chance you would assume is David Haye, and I only say that
due to his last
Because
due,
of his
performance.
due to that
Yeah.
you don't know how he's going to turn up now, whether or not he can actually
Yeah.
get through 12 rounds.
Yeah, yeah.
And it burns me to say that, but we don't know.
I think he could potentially earn more against Haye, because you're going to probably be on pay-per-view on some platform. It's going to be at least at the O2. You're going to be the champion, so you're going to get a decent slice of.
You're gonna have more pulling power with Haye.
And Haye's probably going to take the view that
I beat you. I go on.
I beat you, I get a belt, and then I get the big money.
Yeah.
So I might give you a little bit. Well, you might have to, because of the negotiations with him being the champion. So
Yeah.
if I was Parker, I'd probably.
Go Haye.
I hope he does.
It stretches it
Yeah.
out a little bit further
Yeah.
for us
Yeah.
as well.
The little saga goes on, but
It's
then for me, it ruins the next fight
Why?
for Haye and Joshua, really, isn't it? Because
Because they're both have belts.
no, but it's another year down the line. Another year, David Haye, for me, doesn't have.
I don't think it will be, because, like you said, for that exact reason, Haye doesn't have that time now.
Yeah, but we'll say, let's say Joshua fights in when's going to be free for the pair of them, for Joshua and Wilder.
Well, we're talking what now? Like
He's talking about
Hearn's
February for Wilder, isn't he? For White.
Wilder. But yeah, for Dylan White. Oh God! But Hearn basically wants that fight to happen
There's some.
in the summer. You know, and we spoke about this extensively on our last pod. We spoke about it a lot on Twitter as well. Matchroom and AJ, they want that to be a stadium fight. They, you know, that they want Wembley, they want Twickenham or something like that. That's it. I don't think they're interested in Vegas for this fight.
Okay.
And like AJ said it, and as much as I know that some people will disagree, he said the formula works.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they do. The formula works,
Yeah.
and I get that.
I do think that one of your mates on Twitter, I can't remember who it was, sort of said that it makes perfect sense that he might try and do Parker at Twickenham for the whole England-New Zealand rugby
Yeah.
thing. And
That's
really,
not a bad shout.
I think that would work.
And then move on to Wilder for the summer.
But then,
And then Haye for
it
the-
gets to the stage where you
the
actually
Haye for
can't
the
knock
Christmas.
Joshua. You can't knock Joshua then, can you?
Well, imagine that. His next, 2018, he has Parker in February, March. summer he has Wilder, and then Christmas he's looking at Haye. What?
There's not really much else he can. I don't think there's much more he can do now. He has to have these fights.
No.
So you can't really have that in February.
No, I don't. No.
Well,
I
I don't think it matters for
Yeah, do you know
them because they'll just put themselves under a canopy.
Exactly. We saw that at Upton Park when
Fuck
Haye
everyone
fought
else,
Chisora. He just
Yeah,
sitting
fuck
in the.
everyone else.
Sorry, it
Yeah.
doesn't matter. It's a great knockout, but I'm
Yeah.
sitting in
That's
the
what I
rain.
said. Remember Haye Klitschko as well.
Yeah.
Like he was in the ring with like some foil blanket around him, waiting for Klitschko to come in, wasn't he?
Didn't they leave him there for a little bit as
Yeah,
well
it was a good 10
to let him
minutes,
cool down?
Mm.
Yeah, listen, that's ring smarts. That is.
But
I'm not
that-
even
that'd
in
be
the ring,
good.
and I got no smarts.
I think that would get through another year. Then you've got Fury potentially back
Yeah.
in 2019, realistically, probably.
Yeah, at that sort
So
of
can you
level.
okay. So if things played out, Joshua has 4 possibly there will be 4 of the biggest fights, but will they be the biggest fights in boxing history?
No.
No.
Why?
Biggest fights
We're talking
history.
about
Are you
about
talking
world
gate or are you
champion, world
talking
champion.
revenue?
We're talking about hype train and momentum. We're talking about beating a
Lewis
would you say
Holyfield.
legend?
Bigger than both.
I was just going to say the exact same
yeah,
one.
but would you
Lewis
say
Because
We will be led to believe it will be. By the time that comes around,
if you think if it builds up to
Sean
2019,
knows.
March 2019, he's fought Parker, beat Parker, Wilder, Haye, and then we're thinking Fury.
I think it potentially could be the biggest British fighter, but
Forgetting-
depending on who Fury beats in the meantime as well.
Yeah, forgetting about who doesn't come through the ranks like Hughie Fury or
Dubois.
Dubois. Yeah. Forgetting those guys because they're probably another 3 or 4 fights from getting back up to that. Well,
Yeah.
not Dubois, but yeah, Fury. So that's 4 decent.
I don't think.
Parker, okay, maybe not,
Mm.
but Wilder, it's them 2 at the top at the moment. Haye, he'd all be in our top 10.
No, but Joshua's the way. I can't see how Joshua could ever be in a situation where he'll fight Parker and Haye. I think it'd be one or the other.
Well, if it's
Because
Parker
I can't
first,
see Haye will get into that situation if Joshua's got all the belts.
yeah, but
Yeah.
if Parker, yeah, but if they are lining up Parker for February and March, and Haye's got no choice but to find another route, does he go after mandatories? Because he
That's-
knows Parker's belt's going to be up
the
there.
problem is there's no.
Yeah.
Who does it? He then has to work to be mandatory for the WBC, which is not going to happen.
He won't fight a Dillian White, but
I suppose he
Pulev,
he possibly could work his way to the IBF mandatory within about a week or something.
just fight another Dorman. But that's what I'm saying. Like there's, it's gonna. I don't think we'll get the 4 fights we would love
No.
because of the time scale. So then what happens? It's a bit of a stagnant one for February, March.
I think 2018. I think as Sean said, both of those fights can't happen. So for Joshua, even though we said we weren't going to talk about these guys, he can only fight. He has to fight Wilder next year. Has to.
Mm.
And then you would imagine he would make the decision to fight either Parker or Haye.
Mhm.
And this is all assuming that Haye's successful at the end of this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's only going to fight one of them because only one of them would have the belt, you would imagine, by that point.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously this is very speculative, but there's obviously a lot that could happen before then.
Mm-hmm.
And there's obviously a lot of fighters below that could, you never know, could just, what did I say, a late charge.
Take their chance.
I mean, we've got Joe Joyce on the undercard.
Yeah.
Taking on Tom Little, who we've got an interview with him we'll cut to in a minute. We've got Daniel Dubois down there, and you never know. I mean, Nathan Gorman as well. All it would take is 1 or 2 of these fights, someone to spectacular knockout, someone get a chance. And we heard Eddie saying the other day in his American interview that he's at the point now where he just wants to say to people, look, I want to make this fight. And if they're not interested in it, he's going to be like, I don't know what I can do for you, so this is the situation we're in. If he's genuine in that, and he wants to make the fights of the best, fighting the best, obviously we know that's going to be within reason, and that's great news because we will see good fights. We know that Frank Warren is obviously very keen to do that. You see a lot of his top boys fighting each other. It's not too much of a stress for with the Box Nation fighters and the Warren fighters. And I think that's all we can ask for now. I mean, someone asked me last week, is the Gorman versus Dubois fight going to happen? And he said it's got to happen. Now, these are both young guys. They're both on their way up. What are they, like 10 fights in each? Or thereabouts.
Not even that for Dubois, is it?
Yeah, I think Dubois on 6 fights. And he's already talking about these guys it's a natural fight that's going to have to happen soon.
I think what will probably happen, I would say Gorman will probably win a title before, or he'll get to the title that Dubois ends up winning, maybe in Gorman's first defence or something like that. I think Gorman's slightly ahead of him, mainly because of Dubois' age. He just can't do it.
Yeah, he's too young for the British title.
It's crazy as well because Gorman's 21.
Yeah.
So you got him I know he looks a lot older, but you got him at 21. You've got Dubois at 20. These guys, I mean, I've said it to you guys before. I haven't seen an awful lot of Gorman, so I can't say if he's great. But I hear good things about him. Obviously, you see people like HayeBellew and whatnot talking about him on
IFL,
I
think he
etc.
got a little bit of criticism for his performance last week, but I don't know. Personally, I thought he was alright. Like you say, he's 21, so he's not going to be like the end product. He won.
Got his knockout.
Wasn't like unbelievable or spectacular, but I don't know. He's 21 years old.
What were you doing at 21?
Oh, we'll talk about it off air.
Yeah, let's not. Just remember, Dwight knew me at 21. Let's.
Yeah, okay.
Oh yeah, and Dave. Sorry, Dave knew me at 21.
Cheers.
Sean's a newcomer.
I knew Dave when he was 21.
Dave still thinks he's 21.
I am.
Stoned.
I'm sorry.
Ouch.
I've got
I'm
feelings.
gonna pay for that one, man.
Jesus.
All right, so I'll tell you what.
Day.
Oh yeah, the BTR Christmas party.
9th of December. Anybody
Yeah, I mean, if
want
you
to sponsor our night out?
what a shout! Yeah, we'll put your names on our t-shirts. No, but if you are going to be at the Copper Box on the 9th of December, let us know. Come and say hello. We definitely will not be in a state to be like doing interviews and stuff.
But we will.
We might whip out the phone and have a little
convo.
Yeah,
Just ask
convo,
the fans.
Yeah.
Little segment, live segment. Ask the fans.
We'll see how that plays out.
What's
All right.
happening?
What's happening here?
We'll stay with the heavyweights quickly, and we will cut to our interview now. We had the opportunity to speak to Tom Little a little bit ahead of his Joe Joyce fight on the HayeBellew undercard. I'm still saying HayeBellew. I'm not going into this Bellew Hay stuff. The HayeBellew undercard, and you can hear his thoughts, and we threw some questions at him, and we'll be back shortly. All right, Tom, it's Michael here from Beyond the Ropes. How you doing, buddy?
Hello, mate. Pleasure to meet you.
Thanks for joining us on the show today. I know you're obviously going to be quite busy now in the build up to your fight with Joe Joyce, so we're glad we can grab a few minutes with yourself.
No, that's brilliant. Honestly, yeah, the schedule's going to be a bit hectic, I think, but we're getting there. We're just on the way back home now from sparring. Literally, just everything's going into preparation. A few surprises on the night. That's all I'm going to say.
A few surprises. Okay, well we won't probe because we want to be surprised as well then. We won't probe you too much because we want to be surprised as well when we're there.
Yeah, no, listen, these cats, these little kittens ain't getting let out of the bag until the 17.
So tell me, has it been a while you've wanted to fight Joe, or was it on the back of kind of the Ian Lewison fight?
You know what? I know this sounds silly and this ain't out of malice or anything. I want to fight everyone. It's heavyweight boxing. I didn't get into boxing to make friends. I've got plenty of friends around me. Like, we're all there. I believe there's a lot of people that do too much dodging, too much cherry picking their opponents. I want to know whether I'm the best in the country or not, and then when I'm the best in the country by beating the best in the country, then I will move on to a different level. I understand down to my bad career choices early in my career, you might listen to that statement and think, do you know what, this guy's chatting out his arse, but well, we'll all see on the 17th that the fella that has 4 notches on his record, they were hard-earned lessons, and I paid my dues, and
it's refreshing to hear. Obviously, we as fans definitely agree that there are far too many fights that should be made that don't get made. So it's nice to hear that there's someone that wants to get in there and have a tear up pretty much with anyone and everybody, to be honest.
Yeah, listen, let me tell you something. I'm in this game for one, to make money, and two, to fulfil a lifelong dream and prove that I'm the best big man in this country, on this shore. Now, to do that, you can't just fight one man. I see the opportunity with Joyce. He's an Olympic silver medalist. He's a brilliant fighter. I don't take nothing at all away from him. I want people to remember how good he is when I beat him, and then I don't want people to call it, because he will come again. I think the thing is they're looking a little bit off me. If I'm being honest, they're taking me for granted a bit more than I. To me, I think he's a massive name. He's a big fighter. People know him. He's recognised as a good fighter. So once I beat him, then I'll move on to the next test. But definitely, there's a lot of names on my list.
On last week's show, we had Adam Morali, Joe Joyce's manager, on, and he mentioned to us.
Yeah.
He mentioned to us that you were at the Indigo O2, and they spoke to you briefly backstage after the Lewison fight, and he said that you were a really nice, very, very polite guy, and the next day you seemed to change completely and start chasing Joe quite quickly.
Yeah, you know what? I like to think I'm a polite fella. I think it's nice to be nice if you can be. Sometimes every sport, or sometimes you need to be the pantomime villain, just to spice things up a bit. But anyone that knows me genuinely knows I'm a nice guy. If I can help anyone, I'll help them. But like I said, it's business. I saw things in Joe that I believe my style gels with, and I believe is very beatable. I understand that Joe brings with him the David Haye hype train. The coverage is what I need now. I needed a TV fight, and I went back there. I spoke to him. Like men, and I just said to him, "Listen, introduced myself. Said I'm ranked number 10. If you want a fight for Joe, a meaningful British top fight for Joe, just don't think you. The thing is, I've gave a big chunk of my adult life to boxing, and worked hard to get to the position I'm in, and I didn't want to be leapfrogged just because someone got financial backing and let him go and fight for a British title when I've slugged my backside off and worked myself to a position. But I'm willing to fight for my position, if you understand what I'm saying.
That makes sense.
And that's just what I said. I said, if you want to fight, we'll get it on, and I believe that I can beat Joe. And I believe there's a lot more names there that I can beat and will beat. But this is a fact. We're in sports entertainment. We ain't in the job of what's fun about people coming and just watching someone get in there who's there for the money, there for a couple of grand out of Lithuania, out of wherever. Journeymen do serve their purpose, but when you've served their amateur apprenticeship like Joe has in that tournament, that 5-round tournament that he done and everything, he's paid his apprenticeship. Do you know what I mean? If he ain't ready to fight at a decent level now, then he'll never be ready.
As you said, I mean, obviously this is it's a TV show. It's a pay-per-view. It's going to be a massive platform on Sky. This will be the kind of like the biggest show you would have been on, I imagine. So, how are you able to cope with that level of pressure and the new pressures that it will bring?
I love pressure. I live in pressure. I put pressure on myself every day to get up and perform and to do what I do. To me, I'm walking out into an empty room. There could be 1 million people there, but as far as I'm concerned, on the 17th, it's about me and Joe, and it's only me and him in there, and it's two men having a fight. Now I've been brought up to have a fight at any better time, whenever I need to. You get out and you go and fight, whether there's one person there it don't matter to me. I'm cut from the wrong cloth to let the noise of a crowd bother me.
You mentioned a little bit earlier on as well about some obviously bad sort of choices and some in your earlier career. So I mean, we were looking at your record. Obviously, you've had about 14 fights over the space of about 6 years. So I mean, your activity levels at the minute are picking up quite nicely. So do you feel it's something that is beneficial to yourself? Obviously, that you haven't got necessarily that many miles on the clock, that you've got a lot to give now.
Yeah, do you know what? One of the most honest people I've met in boxing, a feminine promoter, explains to me, and it really owns me. A fellow called Tommy Dove said to me, Tom, boxing's about momentum, building momentum. And I never really took it for granted, really. He said, but once you get a good runner or something, you believe you cannot lose, and you just get yourself on a good run of things. But when you've got stop, start, cold, it's frustrating for your mind. And boxing's a sport that's a lot of the fights won mentally as well. Don't be wrong. You can't telepathically avoid a punch in the face. But what I'm saying is, if you believe that I'm going into this fight, I can't be beat, I can't lose, you can make your body do brilliant things. I believe that now I'm on the upside of my career. Like I've been calling for guys to fight because we've sort of done our own thing. I've not had no handouts, I've not had no help. I've called for awkward opponents, hard opponents that I know are going to come, and people are expecting to give me a hard night's work. And I've exposed them for what I am, not for what they are, because I wouldn't discredit no one. Because any man that puts a glove on and genuinely comes to have a fight deserves all the credit in the world. But I've exposed that I'm levels above what they are at this particular moment. Same as when I rematched Tom Dallas. I knew he never should have beat me the first time that before. It was me being a fat slob, not taking myself serious, having other issues outside the ring, but that's gone there, so it's pointless bringing it up. But I always knew in my head how much of a better man I was than Tom, and I went out and proved it. I absolutely demolished him in 59 seconds, which I thought that was a statement in itself. I went through a fight with Kamil Sakalowski and literally took 2 shots through a 6-round distance. I literally beat him up with my left hand. And then just a few weeks ago, I stopped Josh Sandland, who was on a terrific run. And I said to people beforehand, I said I will stop him in the 4th round, and I got him out there. So I can't do no more than what I'm doing at the minute. And now I've got my big chance to show everyone on Sky Sports that I just all got air and gas.
Tom, it's Sean here. I just wondered if I could follow up on that based on what you're saying about this year. By the time your fight with Joe Joyce comes around, it's going to be your most sort of active year as a pro. Obviously, yeah. Joe is known, or his nickname is the Juggernaut. He's well known for his sort of fitness, stamina, staying power, if you like, but that's untested in the pro game. I mean, how do you see the fight going? Is your sort of experience or ring skills just going to be too good for fit? Because obviously fitness can only take you so far, I suppose.
A juggernaut, right? A juggernaut is something that builds on momentum. Now, a juggernaut can't run on ice. Now, he's only dangerous if I let him run at me and I let him get away with the mistakes that he makes. But the thing is, he's not fighting a man who's out of shape, who's been inactive, who's ring rusty. He's fighting a very sharp, fast, lateral movement and a lot harder hitting than they're anticipating. And he's going to find out very, very early, that, listen, he can have as good a chin as he wants. It's like a lump of, it's like your punch resistance is like a lump of elastic. Now, you can take one good shot, because I took many big punches, and there's plenty of big punches that can testify to my punch resistance. But you can't stand and take them all night. Now, I don't stand at some point in the fight.
It's Michael again here. We've asked a lot of our guests recently because we're trying to get a bit more of an understanding, obviously, about drugs in the sport of boxing and whatnot. And we heard today that Luis Ortiz has his WBC ranking is being kept now. He's not going to take a suspension, even though he's for the second time failed a test. Now, how difficult as a professional fighter is it to stay on the right side of these rules?
Do you know what? It's not difficult at all. Just live clean and have all the good intentions of being a clean athlete. It's not hard. It's not rocket science. Basically, you keep an eye on your protein. You have intelligent people around you, but after all said and done, anything that enters your body is your decision. So you need to be educated enough yourself to know what you're putting into your body, and if you're not of an understanding what it is, you shouldn't use it. Because at the end of the day, we're not playing football. We're not running 100 metre hurdles or 100 metre sprint. We're fighting, and we could take a man's life without drugs. So with drugs, you're not just heightening the chance of winning, you're heightening the chance of severely lifelong damages, if not death, on another human being. So I think the punishment, never mind ban these people, I think they should have to sit a trial and face imprisonment, because that is what you're doing. You're endangering life intentionally. You're taking that, and it's premeditated. So I don't think they're strict enough for it on I think there's a lot of it going on. There's a lot of people that get overlooked because of money, and it's all about who you got looking after you. But unless everyone, and I mean everyone, stands together and says no, this ain't right, it's not for me personally. Myself, I wouldn't want to be on under the influence of anything, because I'm the sort of person, I set goals and I set challenges mentally for myself, and I'd always be thinking, I didn't beat them, that beat them. I'm a perfectionist, so I like to know what I'm doing is my doing. If you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I've got two more questions for you. Right. One of them's a bit more serious than the other one. So the first question is, if we had to give you the choice between who you think would win between Wilder and Joshua right now, because it seems to be the hot topic, who would you go for?
Do you know what? That's an whoever lands fight, isn't it? Because Wilder can box better than he thinks. Listen, I'm British. I'd like to see Joshua beat him, but from my opinion, and from my personal opinion, I think there's only one heavyweight champion of the world, and them belts are only on leash until he comes back to get them. And I think there's not an heavyweight at that level fit to lace his gloves up, and that's Tyson Fury. I don't think either of them until they've earned the right. Well, not earned the right, because they're both world champions in some sort of aspect. But I think that's just a puncher's fight. You might as well flick a coin in the air and you'll get your winner, because you see whether lands the first meaningful shot wins the fight. But I'd like to say Joshua, because he's British.
I love that answer. I'm going to be honest with you, I love that answer. Neither one of them are beating the man, so I'm completely in agreement with you there. Right,
Of course.
the final question I've got for you there, Tom. Can you sing us the Joe Joyce song, please? Can you sing us the Joe Joyce song? We absolutely loved it.
Can I sing you a Joe Joyce song?
We saw it on your Twitter, and it was brilliant.
I ain't got nothing. I ain't got nothing made up at the minute. But what I'll do is the next time I sing a Joe Joyce song, I'll make sure I'll give you boys a massive shout out.
Oh, that'd be even better then. Thanks very much for that, Tom.
That's alright, mate. No problem.
Alright, well, thanks very much for joining. Thanks very much for giving us some time today, and we'll definitely try and catch up with you again before the big night.
time, and God bless and good luck, and hope to speak to you soon on the back end of a tremendous victory.
That's what we're hoping for you, buddy.
Cheers, Tom.
Thank you, boys. Good night. God bless.
And you. Right. Okay, so we heard from Tom. What is that? Nice fella, I think. It's the first time I've spoken to him, to be honest with you.
Top bloke. I love these little comment. Well, not it wasn't a little comment about the.
I was saying, are you trying to be funny there? By
no. Oh shit! Yeah. Do you know what that flew over my head?
Clearly.
Yeah.
Still banging around the nail.
I've got Sledge now. About Wilder and Joshua, and it's until Fury comes back, they're on lease.
I like that.
That was that was nice.
Yeah.
And again, another athlete that we've spoken to, who says it is not hard to keep the shit out of your system. So, and fair play to him when he said they shouldn't be banned.
Yep.
They should be brought up on trial, because he's 100% right. All right, in football and other sports, it's not a major issue if you can run a bit quicker or whatever, you last a little longer. But in boxing, he has smashed it on the nail. You could possibly kill someone because you're enhancing your fucking potential.
And like you said, it's premeditated as well.
And it is premeditated, yeah. So fair play to him. That is an amazing shout for him to say that. And yeah, I 100% agree. If that's in boxing, if you're caught with stuff that's going to enhance you as a fighter over your opponent that is not legal, then yeah, fucking hell, you should be done for it.
I think you're spot on.
Yeah, that was a brilliant.
Totally agree with him as well. Everyone needs to come together and say, let's get it done. You look at all the other sports. It's regulated better.
Yeah.
It's just that everyone should be more tested regularly.
Yeah.
And to make it much better. Just pulling out of fights and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like Ortiz pulling out of getting done for drugs or whatever. They're just cutting corners, man. They're too big. They need to literally just train properly. Simple as get in shape.
He's 55, man. Leave him alone. There's only so many hours in a day he's awake.
So age reduction pills. That's what he's taking.
Fountain of youth.
Alright, so I mean, it's a good insight as well. Obviously, so he's coming off a fight a few weeks back, so he's going to be in good shape.
Mm-hmm.
And we said it before, he's kind of being painted as the pantomime villain in this, but you generally need a good guy and a bad guy in these sort of things. We saw it. We're going to see it again in the HayeBellew thing. They're both going to argue over who's the good guy, who's the bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
But Tom is going to come across as the pantomime bad guy in this, simply because Joe Joyce is the clean-cut Olympic. He's the hero.
They're not going to want to soil his reputation, are they?
No, there's no point trying to be nice, because Joe Joyce is going to get some publicity because he's Joe Joyce.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So if you're there's no point just being Joe Joyce's opponent and just be quiet and not say a word, because you're not going to get any.
You're not going to get any hype
attention.
yourself.
Yeah.
No, fair
It's the
play.
only way to do it.
I love his confidence as well.
And you need it.
Yeah, and fair play to him. He's honest in what he's saying. He's messed up previously, and all right, this is his most active. He's been 3 fights. This will be his fourth, or is it?
This will be his fourth fight this year.
This will be his fourth fight. So fair play to him.
But it was great what he said that I can't. It sounds bad. I can't remember the name he said of the person who gave him the advice, but it was that boxing's all about momentum. But coming into a fourth fight within 12 months, you've definitely been building momentum. You're going to be in good shape.
Mm-hmm.
And this is again no disrespect or a slight on Ian Lewison. We saw in the last Joyce fight that he didn't come in anywhere near the condition he should have been in for that.
Yeah.
So I think if Tom comes in the shape that he was in his last fight, and that we anticipate him coming in in December, I think he's already in a better position to get a win than Ian was when we saw on the night. Whether or not he has the same amount of, I don't want to say ability because maybe that's a bit harsh, but like ring experience, ring nows. Obviously Ian's been around the game a long time as well.
Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to this fight now.
Yeah, I think it's all about prospects having tougher fights. Like even Jez was saying a couple of weeks ago when we had him on, like prospects. They need tougher fights on the way up instead of just
no
these
padding a record.
yeah,
Is there?
just these one-run knockouts. What good is it doing them?
Yeah,
But we've heard from Eddie Hearn this week that that's kind of what he just wants to get a reputation for earning the fighters good money in low risk fights. That's not
what the fans want.
Yeah.
That's not what the fans want at all.
Just pays the bills, doesn't it? But as I said to you, there's no longevity in that. It can't last. And I think this is where we're already seeing, like when you have the next gen shows, the ticket sales are down. JD Sports, if you buy trainers, they give you 2 tickets. And I'm not even joking. These are the sort of things that you see. They'll be like, spend £100 and we'll give you 2 tickets to go to the Copper Box to watch the next gen show. And it's because people are bored of seeing the same thing over and over.
You know the result before you turn up, don't you?
I said it's unfortunate, but that's exactly where it's at. I mean, we've all said it and we've seen it before. You go onto a Matchroom card on whatever bookie app you're using. You put all of the Matchroom fighters to win, and you bet a tenner and you get 12 quid back. It's ridiculous. What was a Coley's one for his last fight? He was like 1 to 1,000 to win. That's not even a fight.
Yeah. What's the point?
I think I'd have the same odds fighting if someone would give it 1 to 1,000. Maybe not, but
maybe double it. But
yeah, but then I'm not a pro fighter, so I'll take that. I'll take 1 to 2,000, and then I'll bet 10 grand on him to beat me, and come home with 30 quid.
Brilliant. Yeah, cheers. Fucking mad, isn't it?
So I mean, to be honest, I've only started to follow Tom recently in the last few months. Seen a few more of his fights now. I know Sean's seen quite a few of them over the last few years.
Yeah, because he's done quite a lot of interviews, either in the back of interviews with Billy Joe Saunders or with Billy Joe Saunders. So he's always been a kind of funny guy in the interviews, and then you sort of try and look out for him. And like you said, he's kind of had a bit of a stop-start career where he's made mistakes, had the wrong fights at the wrong times probably, and I don't know. I want him to win. I don't care about Joe Joyce. I want Tom to win.
Is it because he's got a personality?
Dave's just...
Yeah, there goes our chance of getting Joe on the show.
Sorry, Joe.
This is
not that you're fucking listening.
Save the question for him next week, mate.
Yeah, be like, hey Joe, why ain't you got a personality?
I should have said more of
a personality. Yeah. No, I just wanted to win because
Freudian slip there.
I like his sort of outlook on how he sees it. I do like his personality.
I like his thinking.
I don't really care about Joe Joyce. I can't really see Joe Joyce being someone that I'm going to be excited to watch ever, even if he gets to.
But hang on, we were watching the Joe Joyce with one arm last time.
Oh yeah. So he'll be twice as good.
So hopefully he's twice as good.
I like just math. That's all it is.
Really?
Just maths,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah.
So if Joe Joyce versus someone like a Dylan White, then I'm saying that.
Can they both lose?
Can they both lose?
Yeah. Double count out.
This is it. Do you really want to
Can
see
Joe
that?
Gallagher be like the coach of both?
Route 1, punch him in the face. Route 2, defend with your face.
Sorry, as well, just to go off topic, did you all see on Twitter yesterday it was Joe G Day?
Yeah, I did.
No, I didn't see it.
I don't know why, but
I didn't think you two would have seen it. I know that Sean would have seen it. Dwight, David, after the show or tomorrow when you get some time, just go on Twitter, just hashtag Joe G Day.
Yeah,
and
Joe G Day.
Just the tweets were brilliant.
You're just getting some random abuse. It was good.
Oh really?
It was like from the first minute of the day. It was like someone said at 9 o'clock, right, bang, Joe G Day, go, and then that was it. Some very creative entries into it as well.
Wow.
All right,
I'm gonna have to look at that now.
Abuse for nothing.
To come back onto the topic, I think it's going to be a good fight now. And as he said, Joe is obviously the juggernaut.
Needs momentum.
But you can't get momentum when you're on ice, so he's not going to let him. And I think a lot of people are going to say that as their plan to beat Joe Joyce, to stop him getting started.
Yeah.
We heard the same thing when we spoke to Ian before the fight. But we just got to see what happens now. I know that sounds like an absolute cliche because it's boxing, that's all we can ever do. But
so, right, question is then, as much as they said that they're going to throw him out and put him stepping up levels each and every fight, considering Lewison was at British level, Tom lost at Southern Area level.
But has been Southern Area champion.
Yeah, but
hasn't he?
Don't think so.
Have I just made that up?
Yep.
Alright, take it back, edit it out. It's fine.
You could have just gone with a Sean fact there. Fact. But do you think this is going to be a harder fight? Considering you do know he's got momentum, considering you do know he's in a better shape.
Harder fight for who?
For Lewis, for Joyce.
I think so.
I do think so.
Yeah.
He's fighting someone who's actually in
But
shape.
even though it's not
It's
going with their
different.
traditional, what they wanted to do, like the steps, the levels.
I don't think they anticipated having this
And I
fight
get-
for Joe Joyce at this stage.
I do get Tom's point where he said, "I'm a top 10 English fighter."
Yeah, I think he's number 10 in Britain.
Yeah.
and I get that, but
Still, for a second fight,
it's a hot.
it's better than, like you said, it's better than fighting someone from
Lithuania for $2 grand or whatever.
They're just gonna take one punch and then.
Mm-hmm. I suppose
Fold,
it gets
you
him
know.
on. Where would he be? Where do you think he's ranked now then, at Joe Joyce, in British level?
Unfortunately, I think he's probably ranked in the
5.
top 4 or 5. Yeah.
Okay.
But I think what we need to get over now is that
Ranked
Lewison
as in
fight-
should.
was a better fight on paper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When someone said it, you thought, "Shit, yeah, this is
Lewison
a
took
good
Dillian
scrap."
White.
But
Ooh,
as again, no disrespect, it wasn't.
fizzled out big time. Yeah.
And the shape Lewison came in, the injuries obviously throughout the fight, the ankle, the jaw, etc. You would have expected Joe to get him out of there more comprehensively, probably quicker. I think probably if he was carrying the injury, as we were told by Adam last week, that probably plays into it. So you didn't get the excellent performance that you were
Yeah.
expecting. So I think if he comes into this fight completely fit, and we've got a completely fit Tom Little with the confidence that he's just told us he has,
It's gonna be
We've got a
decent
scrap.
Yeah.
we've got a scrap.
I think the Lewison fight would have done him a while of good though. Like, it's better than. It's better than him going knocking him out in the second round.
Yeah.
Rather than going through a few rounds, because was again like, what's the point? Goes in there, knocks him out in the first round, and then
Doesn't show him what sort of level he's at.
doesn't push him at all, or doesn't test him.
Yeah.
And also
I-
mentally getting the injury as well.
Yeah,
It's a good
he had
thing.
to have something to overcome as well.
And just doing rounds, I suppose, is going to be a bonus.
Yeah,
Just getting in the rounds, but yeah, okay, fair enough.
you think about that. You think he went 8 rounds, took him 8 rounds, stopping there or something. 8 rounds, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And what Joshua? That's like 3 fights for him.
Mm.
His first 3 fights, wasn't it?
But
Like,
yeah,
round
one
2,
round,
two,
one,
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 two,
one,
yeah.
First 3 or 4 fights took him to get to that stage,
Yeah.
just to get to 8 rounds. He's done it in 1.
Yeah.
You know.
And if that's what you're after, rounds
Yeah.
in the bank,
Yeah.
then fair play.
Yeah.
You're not going to get experience by just banging people out straight away, are you?
Exactly.
No. We all know he can punch. He's a big boy.
Get to
All those boys can punch.
We said it. Anyone who weighs 17, 18 stone,
and
can
as a pro,
punch.
and as a pro, who their job is to punch.
Yeah.
As soon as they land, they're knocking you out. So
The other thing is that he doesn't want to. He can't afford. He hasn't got time to have them 2-round blowout fights. You know,
Yeah.
he needs to regress because of his age quicker.
Yeah.
So you can't do like a 4-year thing
Yeah.
like Joshua has.
yeah,
it is an
as
express
possible.
route to the top, isn't it?
Mm.
But as I said, I think that'll probably work out quite well because we've seen the people that are at the top are very established now. The people that are up and coming, your Dubois, your Gormans, etc. They're probably a few years away from reaching that top level and taking those big
Yeah.
fights. So there is kind of a gap in the market for someone to make that
Fast track it. Yeah.
that fast track to the
track,
top
yeah.
to the
Yeah,
top boys, especially for British fighters. There's
And
definitely
there are beatable people in the middle, aren't there? Like,
beatable people with big names.
yeah.
Mm.
I mean, like I said, it wouldn't be a surprise to me if in 6 to 8 months' time you saw a Joyce versus someone like a Dylan White or someone. If they can't get the White fights that they're after,
If-
suddenly that's a big name. If Joyce keeps winning,
yeah. If
or
if
if-
Wilder White messes up,
yeah. I mean, or if we
Hopefully
never
it
know what could happen. It could be Tom Little fighting Dylan White
yeah,
in
no, yeah, of course.
6 to 9 months.
If he's got his head cottoned on as much as he's saying, yeah, fair play. Good
I
point.
think this is an exciting fight now. To be honest with you,
It's good to have it. It's good having spoken to him and getting to know him and seeing how serious he is about it.
I think
That
that's a
you can just blow that. He's a geezer just wants to go in there and get some money. He
Yeah,
you
spot on.
genuinely think.
I was going to say,
He
because I think
doesn't- he
when
wants
we
to
first
make
spoke
some
about it, we were all like, yeah, it'd just be a Joyce blowout. And I think you obviously that because we know Joe Joyce, we've spoken to Joyce, you hear him speaking about his fights, and we'd spoken to Adam as well. And I think as fans, we naturally, when you speak to someone and you hear them talk about it, you then gravitate more towards that person and you get a bit more belief in what they're saying and what you think they can do. I'm looking forward to this. And I think It'll be the only fight on the card I can really look forward to because I'll be watching the main event through my fingers.
Just praying it goes way.
Hoping for a better result this time, eh? And I haven't got. I haven't got hay fever, by the way. Going off from last week, I haven't not got hay fever. Yeah. I heard that and I was just like, oh, it's like pissing myself laughing. I thought, fuck you.
He was loving it as he said that.
Right. Let's move on. We'll finish on the Frampton card. We'll give that a few minutes. But in the news this week, in fact, you know Eddie Hearn's been in America for the last like 6-7 days.
Yeah.
Hasn't like British boxing just like exploded while he's gone? So we've had StubHub's been raided.
Yep.
For potential money laundering. I mean, let's be honest. How corrupt is boxing? And StubHub is obviously a lot bigger than just boxing. But let's look at this now. So we've had StubHub being raided, and they're talking about being potential money laundering. We had, before it was MTK, we had the MGM Marbella being raided for similar reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Boxing's always been a fairly corrupt sport. Is it changing, or are they just getting better at hiding it now? This is a legitimate question.
Is anything changing?
I think it's just.
Are you going to break into two right now?
That's just the way it is. Oh mate, no. You know what? I just, like you said, they're probably getting better at hiding it. There's more ways to open another company through this offshore account, all the other stuff. There's ways of getting around it, and that's the way they're going, I think. And well, hopefully more of this stuff gets brought out and they can stop. Because I would love to StubHub to go under. That's a massive problem. In my eyes, it's a massive problem. It stops a lot of people going to like the big fights as well. You don't want StubHub. Just get it straight through, like Ticketmaster or something. Just get it straight through. Bang. All this. Oh, we put 9,000 tickets on StubHub. Fuck that.
They were there the day before the general sale went up.
Yeah. I can't stand any of that stuff. So yeah, I'm glad about that StubHub thing.
Okay. Also in the news, we had Oscar De La Hoya.
Oh, come on.
Just enraging the world and publicly calling out Conor McGregor to a boxing match.
Excellent.
I just want to bring your attention to the tweets that he was sending out as well. I mean, I don't have them in front of me, but he actually said that it's a disgrace to boxing when Mayweather was fighting McGregor.
But
a
he saw how much
disgrace
money
to
was
boxing.
made and was like, I'm having a bit of that. Get myself in shape.
It's one of those ones. I saw the tweet and I thought they were talking about his son was trying to challenge him or something. I was like, all right, maybe. And then I thought, no, Oscar wants to come out of retirement.
How old is he now? 44.
Do I add that on?
Something has read it earlier.
I was going to say,
your knowledge. I was supposed to say just a fountain of knowledge.
No, I was going to say, I'm trying to think who I said it to before, but you know, sometimes if you don't know something, just say it with confidence.
Yeah.
How old is it? 28. Bang.
Yeah.
If you say it like that, no one will question you. Then someone will pull out their phone and be like, actually, exactly. no, Dwight, he's 44. It's just testing you.
For me, that's just shit. That's not a fight I want to see. Mayweather had everything.
But the Mayweather thing was the same though.
No, but it wasn't.
It was because
it wasn't because he was
the purest of boxing.
The best.
The purest of boxing fan just thought to himself, this. Everyone said it was a fucking circus. It was a joke.
No.
Like, what was the point? Like, and this is the same thing.
No, but
worse.
this had
This would be the same
like,
thing.
The Mayweather thing had something because he, you know, if he was to come back, he still probably would be the elite fighter that he is. De La Hoya's not. De La Hoya's.
De La Hoya wasn't even when he retired. He wasn't the top boy.
It was done a long time before that.
It's just pointless. Like someone turning around and like saying Woody Harrison's coming back to fight Dillian White.
No, don't put Woody Harrison in the same.
No, but
in the same sentence. No, but
De La Hoya.
Let's not.
You're just lucky he can't put it down to welterweight.
He didn't go out on the peak, and he retired. God knows how many years ago. Why would you just
maybe it was his peak.
No, Sprott was probably his peak. That left hook.
What a win.
Prize fighter.
Yeah. No, but I've got no. I've literally don't even want to talk about it.
All right. Cheers for that.
Thanks.
I think it's a load of rubbish. I think it's just for publicity.
But what's he trying to publicise?
Yeah.
What?
What is he trying to publicise?
Himself.
Oh,
He
right.
hasn't been in the news for a little while.
Yeah,
I
Canelo's
thought
not
at
fighting
the
at the
time,
minute.
like he was just annoyed that that fight was getting more attention than.
And it was taking the shine off of the...
So his tweets at the time did bring some attention back.
But it seems like he legitimately is interested. I mean, let's be honest, right? Principles kind of go out the window if someone says to you, I will pay you 100 million to do something. Principles are good as long as it's
I'll get in
convenient.
a
You
ring
soon
with
change your
anyone.
mind.
100 million, I'd get in a ring with anyone. You're right.
Yeah.
So with all of you.
Yeah.
100 million you're getting with Mike Tyson, knowing that he'd annihilate you. But
Yeah.
100 million's 100 million.
Yeah.
1 million.
1 million.
That's the question. Here. How much would it take for you to get in the ring with
I'd
him?
get that's a lot of money. I'd
You
get.
said 100 grand last week.
I would, yeah.
You just said like quite
100
like,
grand. I'll take a punch for 100 grand.
I want a lot more than that.
I love it. You were saying 100 million is 100 million, like as if you know what.
Oh, like, yeah. Lads, have we not had 100 million? Lads? Come on. Look, 10 grand is probably my limit.
But bear in mind, Dave, you're not a fighter, and this is not.
No. I'm
So,
not.
so
I'm
that,
just greedy.
that punch could kill you.
I'm not saying I'm going to take it like a champion.
No, I'm saying it could literally kill you.
But for
And
a
you're
million,
like,
I'd
for 10 grand, I'll take a punch.
$1 million quid. My hospital bed's going to be amazing.
You'll have a good coffin as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Really nice send off, yeah.
Yeah, like you guys
Lovely
are
way.
good,
Free
you guys
bar,
are
mate.
great, yeah, free bar.
Yeah.
Anywhere you want.
Okay, boys. We've got Frampton Reborn this weekend.
Yeah.
Come on, Frampton. I like him, man.
Yeah. I like
He's such a likable guy.
He's
isn't
such a nice guy, but he's such a good fighter.
Yeah.
And I love the interviews I've seen this week, or I don't know how old they are, but this week, he's gonna go because he hasn't had any knockouts in the last couple of fights.
Mm.
So he's like, look, this guy's underestimating me. I know he's got a good knockout percentage, but I want to knock him out. I want to set a little message to the rest of them that I haven't lost my power.
Yeah.
I've just been in good fights with good fighters. So, yeah, fair play to him.
Yeah,
I don't know about Reborn though.
We line up Lee Selby.
He lost to probably one of the best fighters out there.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's Reborn because he beat him previously. So
Wasn't the Eubank thing at Olympia Reborn as well?
Yeah.
no, they're just
So
dragging
it's
out
just-
shit names for cards in.
It seems like you can either have Reborn or Revenge or Repeat. They're the only two kind of taglines you have on fights now.
We just got one billboard.
Now or never.
Just stick
Yeah.
different faces on it.
Fair play.
They got the Photoshop, like apprentice is just sitting in the office all the time, just making up these fight posters.
Same body, just different head.
Like playing Guess Who.
Oh my god. Great.
Alright,
game.
so I mean, I fully expect Frampton to win this fight quite,
Yeah.
Mhm.
quite. I wouldn't say easily,
No,
but
the kid's got a
comprehensively.
very good record.
But I think in situations like this, if your promoter's worth anything, they will find someone with a good record on paper
Yep,
Mm.
yep.
that will make a decent-ish fight. It's like, how many times have we seen like Deontay Wilder will turn up and he's like, oh, he's fighting this guy. He's had,
Yeah.
he's got 10 and he's on his record is he's lost 4 wins. And
Yeah.
it
yeah.
sounds great. And you think, all right, spot on. And you come out demolished.
Yeah, there's a reason he's not in the top 10 rankings
Yeah.
Yeah.
with what 30. No, I can't remember how many wins he's got, but he's got 24 knockouts.
Yeah.
So there's a reason he's not in the top 10.
I did think it. I know that Sean's on the Eddie Hearn's American interview, and he kind of cited Frampton as one of his his hardest moments in boxing as well. And
Yeah.
was it Helder that was in the interview? And he says, "What was one of your worst points in boxing? Your lowest points?" And he's like, "I think it really hurt when Frampton left to go off a cyclone." I was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you know, it sounds really bad. I don't wish bad on anybody, but you know when someone does, he's so successful, and when he says something that's a bit sad to him, I'm like, yes, that's awful. I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I'm not that guy, but when he said that, I was like, yeah, Frampton got you.
Yeah.
I'm completely converted to Frampton as well now. I can't believe that going into the Quigg fight, I was Team Quigg.
I can't believe that after the fight you thought Quigg won.
Did I?
Well, we were messaging halfway through and you were like,
Quick's up.
Quigg's up.
He's getting battered.
I think what we need to establish is that I was battered. And do you know what it is?
It's a great chat.
Sky came to me before they went to Joe, and they told me what was going on.
Yeah.
It just got lost in translation.
Plan B.
But the judge and that other where you got your names, you just got mixed up. Basically.
That's it. I didn't know which one was Frampton.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah, that was that.
I can't believe. Did I really say that in the group chat?
Yeah.
What fight was it that they done that? That was recent as
It
well.
was
This year.
No.
It was this year.
It was
You
this
sure?
year. I can't remember who it was though.
Which
And
one?
it was- where the guy
judges?
literally wrote
Oh yeah,
the card
It
wrong.
was this
Oh, I
year.
can't remember what fight
It
that
was
was.
a matchroom show.
Yeah,
It
it
was-
was.
it was
a Bonnet. Wasn't
Good
it?
10 points to the other person. It was just like, are you
Was it
serious?
Ryan Bonnet? Was it on that card?
Oh yeah, it was Burnett and
Yeah.
Haskins, was it?
Yeah, I think it was that.
Was it?
Do you know what?
Just say it
That
with
is a-
confidence.
Burnett and
Just say it
Haskins.
with
That's it.
Burnett
That was that.
Haskins.
That's what it was.
Do you know what? I'm going to go with it was. 100% right. Well done.
Cheers, Dave.
Mm-hmm. Goddamn.
I'm looking forward to this card at the weekend.
I-
Conlon.
Yeah, I'm enjoying.
I want to see him. I ain't seen him.
these
enough
cards
of him.
now.
That's the Olympic brother. I know that.
Yeah.
But the
Mick
one that.
Collins, Jamie Collins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which one's. Well, they both get cut. But which one's the one that gets cut too much?
Sean is fighting this weekend, Jamie.
Yes. Oh.
It's one title fight.
Is it world title? Oh, sorry.
IBF, isn't it?
Come on, Dave.
Fair play. Did not know that.
No, I didn't know either.
Yeah.
I do want to see him a lot more though, because his some of his interviews are brilliant.
In fact, that was a question that got sent in as well, and it's what chances do you give Jamie Conlon on the weekend?
Well, he's a good boxer, but yeah, I'll give him a fairly.
It's,
Yeah.
you know, he's one of the two people in the ring. You could probably win it.
Give him 50-50.
He's not the champion,
Puncher's
so
chance,
he's probably not the favourite.
Puncher's chance. Yeah, I don't know that much about
Boxing.
Anything.
life really. Can't throw words together at the moment.
That's progress, though.
Progress.
You want to write that on the back of your hand for
Boom.
next week.
Said it without stuttering. Cheers.
You were prompted, to be fair.
Alright, fuck off. Yeah, win. I'm just gonna win.
Yeah, I'm going to go win as well. I don't think he will, but
Yeah, I'm gonna go with win. I don't think he will.
I don't think he's going to win, but I'm going to say that
He
he'll
will.
win. Yeah.
Okay.
I just think because of the style of fighter he is, I think he's going to be in trouble.
He's
Cut.
gonna get cut.
But
That's
but he's at home.
gimme.
I think the crowd will get him going.
So what? Maybe a late stoppage?
No, maybe points win.
Points, but because he's
Bit of a dodgy one.
ooh.
But we see them a lot now,
Yeah.
unfortunately. But do you
Yeah.
think, in fact,
Fair enough.
we've got like,
What's the fight?
so we've got 7 or 8
Fight,
minutes left. We don't have a set time to finish, but we don't want to do a 2-hour show like last week. Do you think that these poor judging decisions are more prevalent now, or do you think that we just notice them more now because we look out for them more?
I think they've always been there.
I think yeah.
They've always been there.
Of course, we've always had bad
but-
decisions, but are they more? Do we get more of them now?
I don't think we get more of them. I think we get more poor stoppages from the referees. I think we get a lot more of that. And
You're lucky
especially-
David's not in charge.
Especially
They'd always
in
go
British
for
rings.
health and
Especially in
safety.
British rings. I think in Britain it's becoming a bit silly.
Bit soft.
Yeah, we're very very soft.
I think with social media as well, everyone's got an opinion, so everything that happens is like
Yeah.
whether it's good, it's really good, and whether it's bad, it's terrible. But with
refereeing, there is no standard, is there?
Well, I think
Yeah.
there is, Dave. I think they have to pass quite
Yeah, but
a rigorous set of
how?
tests.
Yeah, but I don't get how some of these cards are. What's her name? Bird. Your favourite woman?
Adelaide Bird
Yeah.
or
10.
Byard.
Byard, whatever. 9, 8 points, completely the opposite way to
Yeah.
what everybody
I think it's
else
not
has.
necessarily that there's no standard. I think the problem is, right, that when they have these off days, there's not very much by way of, I don't want to say punishment, but there's not really anything that comes back to them.
Yeah.
no, apart from money.
Well, these kickbacks are definitely there.
Little brown envelope,
Yeah,
little wink on it.
I think
Alright.
obviously because British boxing's booming as well. Like probably 20 years ago, if there was a dodgy decision, a Brit abroad or even a Brit over here fighting a champion from abroad, they were expected to lose. So if it's a dodgy decision, you're kind of like, all right, well, they lost narrowly, but they were going to lose anyway. But as now, there's a lot of British fighters who are favourites or like 50-50 fights, and their decisions are bad. So we notice it more because British boxing's on a massive high.
Yeah. And like you said, fans are a lot more involved now. It's not just a case of, back in the day there would have been a lot of fighting, a lot of boxing, sorry, like your Eubanks and your Benz, I'm trying to pick on that era there. People would have been able to go to a fight every week.
Yeah.
But then that's it, they go to the fight, they have a few beers, they go home,
Yeah.
and that's it, it's done. Whereas now,
Twitter.
we're on Twitter, we're on Facebook, we're talking about boxing all week.
We're ranting about it as well.
We're going to the fights, then we're going away, we're talking about the fights a lot more. And it becomes a bit of a way of life at the minute. I'm constantly getting chewed out by my missus now because I'll be sitting there and I'm answering our things on our Twitter account or I'm literally staring into space and she'll be like, what's up? And I'll be like, I'm thinking about an interview I've got to do with someone, and she'll be like, when you're at home, just be at home. And I'm like, yeah. I'm still thinking about, I've got to talk to Tom Little
Thinking about
tomorrow.
women and stuff. When you use that one, I'm just thinking about an interview I'm doing. Yeah. Yeah.
Why are you listening to me? Well, why are you playing Candy Crush then? Sorry.
Oops.
But
Don't tell the secrets.
it very much. I think a lot more people, obviously, we're a lot more engaged and invested in sports, in fighters especially now. So we pay a lot more attention to it. Like I said, I think obviously the bad decisions have always been there.
Yeah.
But I think, as we said before, with not the invention, but we've got box rec and stuff now, so we've constantly got things that we can check and we can go and fact check and everything. And you see a decision now, and someone will come up, oh, this person lost that round, and then they'll be like, yeah, but look at these punch stats, and you'll be like, actually,
Yeah, true.
we're too involved now.
I think as well, people are a bit more in tune to it as well. Everything's pay-per-view these days. You've just paid like 20 quid to see that, and then referee stops it. You think to yourself, have a word, like, you know what I mean?
That was Dave when we went to the Brook fight, the Brook Triple G.
I was
The stoppage, he was throwing his pints at people.
fuming. It wasn't that bad.
I think you
I
were.
was very annoyed, but then obviously we could only see what was going on. We didn't actually hear all the commentary and heartbreak.
You heard that.
I heard David's heartbreak.
Mine shattered. Picking it up all the way into Strawberry Moons.
That was one of those nights, boys. You know, when you've been out and then you go out afterwards and you know you shouldn't.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, especially when you get the train the wrong way as well.
Yeah, me and Sean ended up in Stratford. It was a good night though.
I don't even remember getting home. That was a good night.
Not for you, mate. Not for you. Alright then, boys. Well, seeing as we're rambling on about our drinking now, I think that's probably a nice time to end it.
Boom. Let's have a beer.
Anything else anyone wants to add?
No.
I really like the Cyclone card.
Yeah.
I like what Cyclone are doing. They pick venues that they know they're going to sell out. So a lot of the weekend in Edinburgh was it like 2,000-3,000.
Yep.
And it's good. They're not over egging it. They're not really pushing it. They know what they've got, and they're just doing everything right.
And
It's
they
on Channel
look
5,
good on
I think,
TV.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see more of their is it Martin Beloke? The heavyweight Bacoli.
And they've got
yeah.
the girl as well. I can't remember her name. And Lee McCulloch.
Yep.
I think they've got quite a good stable. And if they can build it all around Taylor, gradually,
Who's looking very good.
really, really good. If they could just gradually move to slightly bigger venues on terrestrial TV, I think it's brilliant.
Fair play.
Any more for any more?
No.
No.
Normally we end this with slating one of the guys that's
No,
not here.
everyone's here.
Yeah.
This is
So-
weird.
Jez, should we?
Just
Where are you?
Right, I'm just going to go out and say we don't invite. Don't invite. We don't insult people that could probably really punch us and hurt us.
Yeah, that's true.
Have you seen
So
the
no
size of
boxers.
Dwight? And
Don't
we're nearly there.
All right, no. All
That's
right,
quite a few times I've missed the show actually as well.
we can
Yeah,
insult Dwight.
You should hear what Mike's saying about this.
Yeah.
We can insult Dwight, but we can't insult any professional fighters. Then
Okay.
Alright, cool.
I think that's a good rule of thumb for life, to be honest.
Adam. Yeah, just,
I'm
no,
not
he's
saying
tapping him up
anything.
for his tickets.
Right.
Alright.
Listen, this is our job now. We have to tap everybody out for everything we can get. But we're giving
Anybody
away.
got free tickets for us? 4, please.
Right, so on that note, we'll say thank you to the team. David can stop hitting the microphone.
Sorry.
Thanks. This is so unprofessional. We were doing so well. David's the weak link in this now.
Oh wow.
He's had a good start and a good finish.
Yeah, he needs to progress though.
Ring my agent. Fuck you lot.
Alright, he's ringing his missus. Right, so thank you to the boys and thank you to Tom Little for joining us on the phone today. And we'll be back again soon. In fact, no, we'll be back next week. Definitely not all four of us, I have no doubt about that.
Yeah.
Take care, guys. Bye.
My style is impetuous, my defense is impregnable, and I'm just ferocious. I want your heart, I want to eat his children.
But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done.